Oscar Piastri, the kid from Melbourne, Australia, who's got the whole Formula One world on notice. But is he actually another legend in the making, or is he just another what if? Is Oscar another driver with talent but not the right timing? A star who could have been great if the stars had aligned. Today we're going all in. We're going to dissect every single part of Oscar Piastri's career so far. We're going to compare him to some of F1's greatest champions of all time at the same stage as him. Break down his driving style, evaluate McLaren's ability to give him a title-winning car, and a deep dive into the brutal politics of Formula One that could either make or break his legacy. And by the end of this video, I'll give you my opinion, champion or what if. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Let's start from the beginning, because Oscar Piastri isn't just another fast kid who made it into Formula One. His rise through the ranks was nothing short of historic. Born in 2001 in Melbourne, Australia, Oscar's motorsport journey did not begin in a racing mecca like Italy or the UK, but instead down under, racing remote control cars. Yeah, you heard that right. He was dominating the RC car circuits before he even touched a kart. But when he stepped into a kart at the age of 10, he did not waste time. Within a few short years, he was racing in Europe against the best young drivers in the world. This kid wasn't just fast, he was consistent, and that's what set him apart early on. Let's break down his junior career, because this is where things get serious. In 2016, he joined Rick Flynn Motorsport, a karting powerhouse that had produced serious talent like his current teammate Lando Norris. In 2017, he transitioned to single-seaters, entering the Formula 4 UAE Championship. In 2019, he's a Formula Renault Eurocup champion. In 2020, he was the FIA Formula 3 champion on his rookie year. In 2021, he was the FIA Formula 2 champion once again on his rookie year, winning back-to-back championships both in Formula 3 and Formula 2 in his rookie years. It's a feat that only two current drivers on the grid have matched, and it is Charles Leclerc and George Russell. But even those comparisons don't tell the full story, because Oscar Piastri's racecraft, his ability to adapt to any car, any condition, was something special. Now here's where things get spicy, because Oscar Piastri's path to F1 wasn't just talent, it became a political battlefield. Let's rewind to 2022. Piastri had just won the Formula 2 championship, but Alpine, his academy team, didn't have a seat for him. They had Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon locked in. So Piastri became their reserve driver, sitting on the sidelines while the other rookies were making their debuts. But behind the scenes, negotiations were heating up. Alpine promised Piastri a future seat, but McLaren smelled blood. When Alonso declared his shock move to Aston Martin, Alpine raced to declare Oscar Piastri as their driver now. But here's a twist. Oscar Piastri rejected this on Twitter, a cold, calculated move that shook the paddock. The contract battle that followed this revealed the cutthroat nature of Formula One's politics. In the end, McLaren won. Piastri was their driver for 2023, and Alpine was left scrambling. But this saga wasn't just about contracts. It showed that Piastri's camp has serious confidence in his future. They weren't going to settle for anything less than a team with ambition. Even the most talented drivers can't win without the right machinery. And McLaren, they've been clawing their way back for years. But this is how and why McLaren was able to give Piastri a championship-winning car finally. Let's dig into McLaren's story. This team isn't just another F1 team. They have a lot of history, so let's get into it. With 8 Constructors' Championships and 12 Drivers' Championships. Think Senna, Prost, Hakkinen, Hamilton, Alonso. That's the level that McLaren operated at for decades. But after Hamilton's exit in 2012, they hit rock bottom. With engine struggles, management chaos, and a failed Honda partnership, it turned McLaren into a struggling midfielder. But that's not the worst low. Their worst low, 2015. 9th in the Constructors' Championship, a shadow of their former selves. So what's changed in recent years for McLaren? McLaren has been rebuilding from the ground up. Under Zach Brown's leadership and Andrea Stella at the helm, they've managed to stabilize this team, and more importantly, their technical structure is always evolving. They've invested in new wind tunnels, simulator tech, and completely streamlined their design philosophy. In 2023 and 2024, we saw major upgrades for McLaren. They closed the gap to Ferrari and Mercedes first, and then Red Bull. They bagged podiums and even got a few race wins. But that is not the same as being a title contender yet. McLaren's biggest test will be sustaining development through regulation changes, and we're going to see that in 2026. Staying ahead of the tech curve is not easy for Formula One teams. Red Bull and Mercedes have mastered that balance, especially Mercedes. And Ferrari, well, their Ferrari. But for McLaren, the biggest pieces were coming together towards the end of 2024. And given the car they have in 2025, now it's up to Oscar Piastri to win that championship. In Formula 1, the ultimate yardstick for a driver is their teammate. They're in the same machinery, facing the same conditions. And Oscar Piastri's teammate, well, it's no other than Lando Norris. Let's break this down. I know that Lando has a lot of haters, but we can't deny that he is a great driver. He's weathered McLaren's rebuild, he's led the team through the tough years, and proven that he can go toe-to-toe with the best, like Max Verstappen. His qualifying pace, racecraft, and tire management have all been top tier, even if recently he's made a few mistakes here and there. So how does Oscar Piastri stack up? Let's look back at the 2023 season. Oscar Piastri took the Rookie of the Year award. He outqualified his teammate Lando Norris 7 times, and he scored his first podium in Formula 1 at the Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. But across the whole season, Lando Norris had the edge. He outscored Oscar Piastri by nearly 100 points. The 2024 season, things started to change a little bit. Piastri matched Norris in qualifying battles and closed the points gap to within 40 points of each other. His sprint race win in Qatar showed he can deliver under pressure. In 2025, it is even more obvious that that gap is closing even more. But to be a world champion, Oscar has to beat his teammate consistently. Outperforming a proven benchmark like Lando Norris is the clearest sign that you're ready to lead your team to titles. So what makes Oscar Piastri tick behind the wheel? Let's break down his racing style. His qualifying pace is sharp, methodical, and he rarely overdrives that car. His consistency in qualifying mirrors that of George Russell. Precise, controlled, but not always spectacular. His racecraft. This is where Piastri is evolving. He's very calculated in wheel-to-wheel battles. Rarely takes unnecessary risks, but that doesn't mean that sometimes he pulls the trigger aggressively like Verstappen or Leclerc. We've seen it with Lewis Hamilton. His tire management is strong, especially for a younger driver. He definitely understands stint length, degradation, and how to nurse tires across different compounds. Besides a few mistakes here and there, his wet weather performance is solid, but it's still developing. He's not an Alonso or Hamilton, but he also doesn't have that experience. But we can definitely say that for Piastri, the foundation is for sure there. When it comes to defensive driving, he is calm under pressure and rarely makes bad moves. This helps him avoid penalties, but a lot of times it leaves him open to late lunges. If we compare Oscar to Hamilton or Verstappen at the same stage, he's a lot more measured and less aggressive. Usually we tend to see that as a bad thing in Formula 1, but that could be an advantage to him. Championships are won on consistency as much as aggression. The question is, can Piastri unlock that killer instinct when it counts? Piastri is not racing in a vacuum. He is racing against some of the fiercest talent I've seen in Formula 1 in decades. Let's size up the competition. Max Verstappen, the obvious reigning king. He's at the top of the sport with the team built around him. That's tough to beat. Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is Ferrari's golden boy. When the car delivers, Leclerc's raw speed is lethal. His teammate Lando Norris. With McLaren building a championship winning car finally in 2025, Norris is his biggest threat. A great driver with a great car. Now we get to see who is the better one out of them two. George Russell. Watch out for George Russell. I did a whole deep dive on him. You can check it out on my channel. He is very dangerous, consistent, and Mercedes' future. George Russell has been constantly growing in his career, and he's very strategic and relentless. Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli, without a doubt, is the next big thing in Formula 1. You can also check out my deep dive I did on that. If Mercedes manages to properly train Kimi Antonelli, and it looks like for 2026 they're going to have a killer car, the competition is going to get fierce. Piastri's got to find a way to rise above this generation, and that's not a small task. In Formula 1, timing is everything. In Oscar Piastri's championship window, it's wide open, but it won't stay that way forever. Let's break it down. Drivers like Hamilton, Vettel, and Verstappen all capitalize on the windows when their car and competition align for them to get their championships. If you miss that window, you are risking ending up like Alessi, talented but with just one win to his name, or Nico Hülkenberg, a podiumless career despite having skill. For McLaren, that window depends on two things: McLaren's trajectory and regulation changes. In 2026, the regulation resets, and there's a lot of talk about it. There's no doubt that McLaren so far has the best car in 2025, but are they working hard enough to have a great car in 2026? Because so far, it honestly doesn't look like it based off of rumors. The next thing is Verstappen's reign. Despite Red Bull not performing so well, there's no doubt that Max Verstappen is the greatest driver on the grid right now. And beating a generational talent so good and so aggressive, as a young driver is not easy, even if you have the best car on the grid. But Piastri's biggest threat is actually the future contenders. This next gen talent is no joke, and by 2027, 2028, they're going to challenge Piastri quite a bit. Guys like Kimi Antonelli or Ali Behrman or Isaac Hadjar or even Gabriel Bortoleto if he gets a better car. These guys seem to have the talent to be regular podium contenders in the future. So Piastri's edge, it's right now. My honest opinion, I would say that Piastri's window is between 2025 to 2030. If he doesn't get it done now in this stretch, his career starts to write another story. It's no longer the legacy and the champion, it's the what if career. Let's be honest, Formula 1 isn't just about speed, it's also about power plays, politics, and money. And for Oscar Piastri, this could be a silent factor in whether he gets his shot. Let's talk about sponsorship influence, because big money sponsors shape team decisions. If McLaren needs to prioritize a driver for commercial reasons, it could easily shift focus to Lando Norris. We all know that Piastri's low-key persona is great for racing, but does it sell merch? Next up, the Concord Agreement. The sports revenue sharing deal impacts team budgets. McLaren's cut compared to Mercedes, Ferrari, or Red Bull, it's smaller. This affects development quite a bit. Finally, FIA politics. Let's not ignore the regulatory chess game. Rule interpretations, flexi wing bands, tire compounds, it all plays a part. Piastri's career, unfortunately, can hinge just as much on political timing as much as his own talent. Look no further than Fernando Alonso. Politics derailed some of his best chances in Formula 1, and it could very well happen to Piastri if McLaren happens to be on the wrong side of power plays. So here it is Oscar Piastri the next F1 champion, the next F1 big thing, or just another what if? My verdict is that Oscar Piastri has the talent, the mentality, and the consistency to be a world champion. His foundation is extremely solid. His consistency, adaptability, and technical understanding are elite for his age. This year, as long as teams stay close to where they're at right now, it is up to Oscar. But in the future, it's not. Oscar's future strongly depends on whether McLaren can deliver for 2026 or not. If McLaren nails the 2026 regulations and Oscar Piastri continues to grow, he's got at the very least one driver's title in him. But what happens if they miss that window? That history could very quickly change, and he could become a what-if driver just like Hülkenberg. Right now, I'm at about 60-40. I think Oscar Piastri can for sure be a world champion, and he truly deserves to be one. But in Formula 1, nothing is guaranteed. What do you think? Do you think Oscar Piastri will rise to the top, or will Formula 1's brutal nature hold him back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. All right, here are some questions and hot takes that I've gotten from the community, and I'm going to answer them right now. Could Piastri move to Red Bull or Mercedes? Never say never. If McLaren stalls, Piastri could move to another team, but keep in mind that Red Bull is Verstappen's team. As long as he doesn't leave, they're not going to take Piastri. Mercedes got Kimi Antonelli, and now rumors of Verstappen going there. So I honestly think that if he's going anywhere, he might go to Ferrari once Hamilton retires. This is a hot take. Is Piastri better than Leclerc? Leclerc's raw pace is insane, but Piastri's consistency might give him the edge in the long run. We have to give this one another season or two to truly compare. The last one is, how long will Norris stay at McLaren? The truth is that if McLaren can't keep up with the 2026 regulations and slowly fall apart once again, Norris might start to look somewhere else. The same goes for Oscar, but for now, I think that Norris and Oscar make a great duo. I would say that until Hamilton feels comfortable in that Ferrari, McLaren has the strongest driver lineup in the whole grid. Keep the questions coming. I love debates, and I'm going to answer them on video and down below in the comments. If you like this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe by clicking right here. I upload 2 of these every single week. You can also click right here to watch the next video I prepared just for you. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button right below. Thank you once again for joining me. This is Chicane Chat, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.